Hello, today is Saturday, December 28th. This presentation will look at the climate numbers for December so far and the weather pattern into January. Finally, we will look ahead to the latest climate outlook for January and the January, February, March season to come. Through Friday, the 27th of December, here are the monthly precipitation and temperature trends. In the top portion of this slide, you can see precipitation values for area airports with departure from normal values in parentheses. Most of these sites had been well above normal, except Durango that was well below. The bottom portion of the slide shows that December temperatures were much colder than average, especially in the valley inversions. Grand Junction was on track to have one of the coldest Decembers on record and one of the coldest years on record. Shown here is the percent of normal snowpack for river basins across Colorado. As of December 27th, nearly all western Colorado basins were above normal. Not shown here, southeast Utah was around 114% of normal and northeast Utah around 91%. The snowpack average had been trending down for the latter half of December after being well above normal in the early portion of the month. This is the large-scale weather pattern that had dominated much of December. The ridge in the eastern Pacific blocked much of the Pacific storms from having a direct track into our region. The northern Pacific storms had to climb the ridge, then dive southeast through the northern Rockies, generally brushing our northern forecast area. This pattern is forecast to continue into the early days of January. But there is some hint at a pattern change. By the 6th of January, shown here, the forecast models are shifting the ridge axis further to the west. This would allow the Arctic air to have a much more direct track into this region, which may bring significant snowfall. Here are three annual precipitation graphs for representative sites in this forecast area: Vernal in northeast Utah, Grand Junction in west central Colorado, and Cortez in southwest Colorado. January and February, along with June and early July, are climatologically the dry months of the year, with wetter periods typically occurring in the spring and especially in the fall. Shifting now to the forecast, here is the National Climate Prediction Center's outlook for January. On the left is the temperature probability chart. The large brown area centered over New Mexico and Texas indicates a shift of probabilities towards warmer than normal conditions. This area extends into eastern Utah and much of western Colorado. On the right, the precipitation probability chart indicates equal chances of above, near, or below normal precipitation. One regional condition that the CPC's forecast does not resolve are the persistent valley inversions that were brought on in part by valley snow cover. These inversions are likely to persist into early January, though probably without the low clouds seen here, for colder than normal conditions in most towns. The next chance to stir or break these inversions, at least briefly, looks to be around January 6th, as the weather pattern change increases the chances of Arctic air intruding into the region. What about for the remainder of the winter season? Out at this time frame, climatologists are no longer tracking individual storms, but are looking to the state of the Pacific Ocean for clues to future storm track and intensity. In the equatorial eastern Pacific, between the dateline and the coast of Ecuador, is the Niño 3.4 region, outlined here by the red box. Warmer than normal temperatures in this region are called El Niño. Colder than normal temperatures define La Niña. Together, these are the warm and cold phases of the El Niño Southern Oscillation, or ENSO for short. This chart shows current sea surface temperature departure from normal within the Niño 3.4 region, roughly enclosed by the red box. Near normal or ENSO neutral conditions have been in place for over a year, neither El Niño nor La Niña. This is a slide that shows the forecast from numerous models of how temperature within the Niño 3.4 region will vary through the winter, spring, and summer of 2014 from left to right across the graph. You can see the majority of the forecast lines remain close to the 0.0 line, in other words, a forecast that ENSO neutral conditions will continue. But there is a general trend upward with time towards warmer than normal conditions. There is some potential for El Niño conditions to emerge this spring or summer. So INSO neutral conditions are forecast to continue through the cold season with some possibility of El Nino conditions developing later. Here is the Climate Prediction Center's outlook for the January, February, March season. On the left chart, you can see our shift towards warmer probabilities, especially across the south. The right chart of precipitation probabilities suffers from the uncertainty of an INSO neutral winter season, so the CPCs says that there are equal chances of near, above, or below normal precipitation. One method to add quality to this national outlook is to analyze the climate records for representative sites in the region. These 7 sites have long and strong climate records. Looking back at INSO neutral winter seasons at these mountain sites, some patterns emerge. INSO neutral winters at the 7 Colorado mountain sites tend to produce a wet December, which has occurred this season. Then January and February tend to be drier than normal, with a wet March and April. As for a temperature outlook, the valley inversions will continue at least into early January, while the mountain slopes will see at or above normal temperatures. This concludes this climate summary and outlook. You can follow us on our website at www.weather.gov/GJT or on Facebook or Twitter. Thank you for listening.